Good morning and welcome to Yoga Traveler. My name is Jamie and we are going to be practicing yoga today here in Tuy Hoa on the south central coast of Vietnam. This is actually Tuy Hoa Beach. It's a beautiful backdrop. I've been traveling to Vietnam now for about 2 months. And I've been practicing yoga through that entire time, as much as I can. Started off in Hanoi and practiced at the Yoga Lab and Om Hanoi. Just a few times there, made my way down to Da Nang. I was there for about 5 weeks, and I got to practice at a place called Conscious Yoga and also the Element Studio. And now I am in Tuy Hoa, Vietnam, as I mentioned before. And I've been just practicing at one place there. It's called Club Zeno Yoga. Been an excellent experience. The teacher there, he's fantastic. So anyhow, without any further ado, we'll just get started with the practice. Here we go. All right, let's just come into our comfortable seat. Close our eyes down. And just go to your normal, easy breath. Try to connect with the ground wherever you're at in the world. Once again, welcome. And let everything else fall away. All right, we'll have a few cleansing breaths. I like to start my classes that way. So we're going to inhale deeply through the nose, hold it a bit at the top, and then exhale deeply through the nose. So here we go. Inhaling. Let it all go. Let's try another inhale. Let it all go. All right, last one. Deepest inhale yet. Maybe save some room for one more inhale at the top. Here we go. Inhaling through the nose. One more inhale. Let it all go, big sigh. Oh, that feels so good. All right. All right, now that's what we're going to do. We're going to work our way into our Ujjayi breath. That is our yogi breath. So that's inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. All right, so here we go. You want to build this into a nice rhythmic breath. All right, we're going to synchronize breath with movement here. So we're going to bring our arms out at our sides, and on the inhale, we raise our arms up. So inhaling the arms up. Exhale, floating the arms down. Inhale, floating the arms up. Exhale, floating the arms down. One more time. Inhale, floating the arms up. Exhale, floating the arms down. All right. We're going to bring our legs out in front of us and just kind of rock them back and forth. And then bring our feet together, bring your hands together, and kind of like rock your hands around in a circle, rock your ankles around in a circle. And then roll back the other way. And then point our toes, inhale, exhale, roll the toes back. Point the toes, inhale, exhale, point the toes back. Bounce our knees up and down a little bit. And we'll bring our legs back into easy seat. Bring your hands, bring your palms to cover your eyes for a second. Hands to heart center. Namaste to you all. All right. We'll go ahead and put our hands on our shoulders, get into our shoulders a little bit. So we're just going to roll our elbows back and then forward. And then elbows back. Send your arms out and just getting into the elbows, forward, and then back. And then finally the wrists. Bring up those wrists. All right. Bringing our hands down, inhaling the arms up. We're going to twist to the right. I want you to inhale. As you inhale, lift and extend out of the top of the head. Exhale, gentle twist right. Keep the twist. Inhale, extend one more time. Lengthen. Deeper twist right. All right, let's inhale, arms up. We twist to the left on the exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. Inhale, we lift. A little deeper twist to the left. All right. Let's inhale, arms up once again. Bring our elbows down. Nice cactus stretch. Shine those collarbones to the sky. And then inhale our arms up once again. Then exhale, we float our arms down. All right. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, bending to the right. Inhale, we lift. Engage that left sits bone. Another bend to the right. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, drop the left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Bend to the left. Inhale, we lift. A little deeper bend to the left. All right. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, float those hands down. All right. Let's move into our tabletop. All right, tabletop position. You want to make sure your shoulders over your wrists and your fingers are spread wide, wide, wide. Look back at your legs. Your hips are directly over your knees, and your knees are about as wide as your hips. Okay. We're just going to slowly move into cat-cow here. So as you inhale, lift the chin, leave those sits bones high, and let that belly hang down. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the hips. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. If you have some of your own intuitive movements there, feel free to take them. We're going to go through about 5 breaths on your own. I like to look back at my left angle, extend my right hip out for a side stretch, then look back at my right ankle, extend that left hip out. Right, and then we're going to go ahead and just a couple more cat-cows. Inhaling. Exhaling. And inhale. All right, let's extend that right foot back. Curl those right toes under. And we're just going to inhale, extend forward. Exhale, extend back. Inhale, extend forward. Exhale, extend back. You're just trying to get into the calf. Get those toes nice and bent. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, coming back. All right, let's inhale that right leg up just as high as the glute. That's all you need, right? Pinky toes pointed down. We're going to inhale, bring our right knee to nose. Exhale, we extend. Inhale, right knee to nose. Exhale, extend. Inhaling, right knee to nose. Exhale, we extend. Inhale, right knee to nose. Exhale, extend. All right, now we're going to go ahead and extend that left arm if you want to. If you don't want to, keep both hands down. If your wrists hurt you, you could always just come down onto your elbows. That's totally fine. Plenty of modifications here. All right, left hand extended. And we bring that hand down, knee down. Extend left foot back behind you. Inhale, extending forward. Exhale, extending back. Inhale, extending forward. Exhale, extending back. Just getting into the calf. Mobility is everything in yoga. All right, we're going to inhale that left leg up, like I said, just high enough, just at the glute level, pinky toes pointed down. And inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, you extend. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, extend. All right. Now it's time, bird dog, right? Extending that right leg, right arm forward. I'm using my core here, right? I'm holding my leg up, engaging my core. Keep the breath going. Sometimes when we're static, it helps to just count your breaths. All right, and we're going to come back into our to our tabletop, excuse me. And that's going to go sink down into our child's pose here. Nice and gentle. Oh, yeah. This is our recovery pose. So anytime during the practice, this is kind of a power flow 101, if you will. So we're going to get moving and breathing, but for those of you who want to take it a little slower, anytime's a good time for child's pose. All right, and come back up. Do a little more twisting here, and then we'll get up onto our feet. So you're gonna put your right hand under your chin. Inhale, lift that left arm to the sky. Exhale, we thread the needle just gently, not all the way down. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, we bring it down. Inhale, we lift that up. And exhale, you're just going to drop your shoulder down. I'm going to switch sides so you can see me better. And then as I bring this down, right, I'm going to grab my wrist and pull my left wrist with my right hand. And then you're just going to sit here and breathe. There are other options here. Once you got that extension in your arm, you can lift that right arm up and then bring it behind your back to open the shoulder a little bit. You can leave that right arm up. Another fun move. This is just to come up onto your, lift that knee up. This takes a little bit of balance here. That's a fun little option. All right, we're going to come down. All right, we're going to switch sides. And I'm going to come over this way so you can see me. All right, partially. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, we thread the needle. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, we thread the needle. Inhale, right arm up. And then exhale, we come through onto our shoulder. Right? I like to grab the wrist, pull that arm through. Again, you can just stay here. Or so you can extend that arm out. I like to open the shoulder a little bit when I do this. All right, hope you can hear me breathing. Here we go. Back into our tabletop. All right, we're gonna come into our first downward facing dog here. So I like to bring my hands forward about a half a hand length. My right foot's a little bit injured now, so I'm gonna do this a little gingerly, but we're gonna bring our toes up and we make our way into our downward facing dog. All right, so key points here. Arms are straight out in front of you, about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider. Fingers spread wide, 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 as wide as you can get them. Look back at your feet. They're about as wide as your hips, maybe a little bit wider. And once you get into that comfortable downward dog position, and technically it's a resting pose. For some people it's not. It took me a while to get there. You're allowed to move your feet to find that comfortable position of balance, right? You can scoot your feet forward, scoot your feet back, bring your hands in. You just want to find a way where it's reasonably comfortable. And then we're going to take our dog for a walk. So gently straighten the left leg and bend the right knee. It doesn't have to be a big movement. You don't need your hips bouncing around, right? Just gently, you're going to isolate that hamstring, isolate the calf, and then switch legs on the breath. Straighten the right leg, bend the left knee. Go through about 5 breath cycles. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take our time and make our way to the front of the mat into a forward fold. Any way you want to get there. When I first start the practice, I like to just take a nice gingerly walk. I don't like to jump. But you do you. All right, we're in our forward fold. I'm going to come forward here with you guys so you can see me. And this is where you just want to let it all go right here. Just let it go. I like to inhale, suck my belly button into my spine to create some space. And then ideally you want the top of your head pointed at this mat. You can bring your arms into your elbows into the palms of your hands. Create a little more weight. Just let it go here. Again, try to maintain that breath. When I'm in a static pose like this, I'll say, okay, I'm going to count for 5 breaths. So
All right, now you got other options here. We can bring our hands behind our back. Oh yeah, feels good. This is a fun one here too. We'll bend our right knee, straighten our left leg, bring our right shoulder to our right knee. Inhale up. Exhale, straighten right leg, bend left knee. Oh, it's a good stretch. Bring that left shoulder down. Oh yeah. All right, inhaling up. Go ahead and bring those hands down. All right, and then I'm going to turn to the side here. And we're just going to slowly let our head go, and we're going to roll up to a standing position just so you can see this angle. All right. I'm going to turn to face you guys. All right, this is mountain pose. So we're going to start from the ground up. We're going to lift our toes up, gently float them down. Slight bend in the knees, engage the quads, engage the glutes. Slight pelvic tilt forward, just get your hips under your shoulders. Inhale, lift our shoulders into our ears, roll them down our back. Welcome to mountain pose here on beautiful Tuy Hoa Beach. All right, we're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, float our arms down. All the way down. Tuck the chin, roll on up. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, I'm going to come into our halfway lift here. So you come on down to your forward fold. Inhaling, bringing your palms to your shins. As you push on those shins, you're extending, lengthening the side body, right? And then exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale again. Lengthen the side body. And then exhale to a forward fold. All right, we're going to inhale again. And then exhale with a flat back to our standing position. All right, we're going to roll through some sun A's here. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to inhale, step back to your plank. All right, plank position, right? You'll notice flat back. I'm engaging my core, pelvic tilt forward, flatten the back out. And I'm getting ready to do a chaturanga. I'm going to chaturanga, bringing my elbows close to my body, shifting forward, chaturanga all the way down to your belly. All right, we're going to set up for baby cobra here. So here are the key alignments. Tops of the feet get pushed into the mat. Pelvis is pushed into the mat. That brings your knees up. Bringing your hands by your side body, your elbows are up. You're trying to take the weight out of those hands. Tuck the chin like you're holding an avocado under your chin. Extend out of the top of the head. Don't lift your body up like that. This puts strain on your lower back. That's not engaging your back muscles, right? Extend out of the top of the head and then lift from between your shoulder blades. Do it correctly. you will feel these erector muscles fire. All right, exhale down. All right, we're going to go through 3 baby cobras. Here we go. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. All right, we curl our toes under. Inhale to your plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we'll do some 3-legged dogs here. So I like to bring your feet together behind you. Inhale that right leg up and back. Notice, right? Pinky toe pointed down. I'm extending out of my heel. Using the glutes, using the core. And then exhale, float it down. Inhaling up. Exhale, float it down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. All right. Back in your downward facing dog. Couple of breaths. Inhale, lift those sits bones high. Exhale, we make our way to the front of the mat. Into a forward fold. All right. In our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Bring your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back to your plank. On your exhale, shift forward, chaturanga all the way down to your belly. Inhaling for cobra. Exhale down. Inhale for cobra. Stay there for the exhale. One more inhale. Exhale down. Let's inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right. Walk our dog out a little bit more. Couple of breaths. All right. Bringing our feet together once again behind us. Inhale, right leg up and back. 3-legged dog. Exhale, scorpion dog. All right. This is great hip opener. Great side stretch. Got a couple options here. Keep your shoulders closed down. And just turns it much more into the hips. Really opens up the hip. Or look under that right armpit. And now you got your side stretch in there, getting into the obliques a little bit. Oh man, that feels so good. Whew. All right, let's inhale that right leg up and back. Exhale, float that foot down. All right, other side. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, stack left hip on top of right. Oh. All right, inhaling that leg up. Exhale, we float it down. Back into our downward facing dog. We're going to take our little stroll to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Oh, yeah. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we root to rise. Bring our arms to the sky. Exhale, we cactus our elbows down. Inhale up.
Exhale, we cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. All right. We're gonna inhale again, up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. All right. Inhale, step back to your plank. On your exhale, shift forward, chaturanga all the way down. All right. We're gonna move into Sphinx pose here. So Sphinx pose, one of my favorites. Elbows are directly under your shoulders. Arms are stretched out wide, wide, wide. I mean, fingers are stretched out wide, wide, wide. All right. So what you want to do is you want to push your pelvis into the mat, tuck the chin, and as you inhale, you elongate the spine by extending out of the top of the head and gently come through with the exhale. And what you're going for here, you should feel some tension between your belly button and your middle part of your pelvis, of your pubic bone area, right? And that's your psoas talking to you. So we tuck our chin gently, push those forearms and hands into the mat, push the pelvis into the mat to engage the ground. That's anchoring us, right? And then we lift, extend out of the top of your head through the breath. And you will feel that tension in the psoas area, and it feels so good. Oh, just the release. Whew. Oh, let it all go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Let's just take a little break here. Crocodile pose, right? Hands on top of each other, head down. If you want, just roll your hips side to side. Or windshield wiper. Those legs. All right. So before we come up off of our bellies here, we're going to do a little bit of Sphinx pose. I'm sorry, we just did Sphinx pose, locust pose. Here we go. So arms are going to come behind each other, right? Chin comes down. I don't like to clasp my hands behind my back, but if you like to do that, you may. What I typically do is bring my hands back, thumbs up to bring my shoulders back. Inhale, upper body, just like cobra, right? But now we bring our legs up, feet together, extend those toes out, reaching out of the top of the head, reaching out of the tip of the toes, keeping the breath going. And then we come down. All right, we're gonna do some with our breath. So here we go. Inhaling up. One breath, exhale down. Inhaling up. Exhaling while we're up. One more inhale. Exhale down. All right, we're going to go for 3 breaths here. Here we go. Really getting into that lower back here. Inhaling up. Exhaling. One more inhale. Another exhale. Here we go. Last one. Inhaling. Exhale down. Whew. All right. Bring those hands forward. There we go. All right, let's bring those hands back up.
find our way into a child's pose. A couple different ways to do child's pose, right? We have this traditional way with the knees wide, feet together. Well, it's not traditional, it's just one way of doing it. So this is more to open up the hips. We also have bringing the knees together. I like bringing my hands behind me when I do this one. And this is more of just like releasing the lower back. All right. Come back up. Let's just come into an easy seat. We're halfway through the class, more than halfway. Now it's time for a water break. Just to towel yourself off if you've managed to break a sweat while we're doing this. Enjoy this beautiful view here. All right, we're gonna get back to it. So we're gonna go ahead and come on up, come back into our downward facing dog. Move into a Warrior 2 series. Sun B. All right, so let's go ahead and bring our feet together. Inhale that right foot up and back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to nose. Inhale that right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale that right leg up and back. Exhale, come on through. I like to start in a runner's lunge. Mainly I can look back at my feet and I can see that they're in their own lanes, like train tracks. Back heels lifted. And simply what I do to come in to a Warrior 2 is I'll just bring this right foot over till it's in the center of the mat, and I'll drop this left heel back at a 90-degree angle, and I come up. I got heel to arch alignment right there. All right, your hips are pointed towards the side of the mat. And then I like to bring my hands up. Everybody's body's different, but usually one hand will be over one foot and one hand will be over the other foot. And then you just simply bend into that Warrior 2, right? Again, this hip is, we pull this hip back. Hip doesn't have to be at a 90-degree angle. Very few people can actually do a Warrior 2 with their hip, with their this knee at a front knee at a 90-degree angle. Key, shoulders are over the hips. Not like this, not like this, right? I got these big long arms. It's hard for me to keep them straight. But anyway, now we're looking over our middle finger. I like to look back at my other middle finger to see that my arm's in alignment, right? And we're just gonna do some very simple motions here. We're just gonna inhale, straighten the leg, bring the hands together. Exhale, we come down. Inhale, we lift up. Exhale, we come down. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, we come down. We're gonna do a reverse warrior. Inhale, right? I like to, you keep your shoulder down, but you're lifting that right hand up. This hand can come down to your leg. It can come here behind your back. Key is for extension, right?
Back into warrior two. And then one more time, reverse warrior. Back into warrior two. And we're gonna come into side angle. So side angle, right? You put your elbow on this right knee, but you're just using it as a balance. You don't want to just sit there and rest your elbow on your knee. You're not engaging your core here, right? What I like to do is bring my hand, if you can, bring your hand here, and I might hold my leg, but I try to keep the weight off of it, and then bring this left hand over your ear. You got a nice angle, and then opening up that left shoulder. And let's inhale for a reverse warrior. And now we're going to cartwheel our hands down, back into our plank. Now we can do the upward facing dog version here through our vinyasa. So we shift forward, halfway down, tops of the feet into the mat, into upward facing dog, right? Knees are off the mat, legs down, lazy dog. Back into your downward facing dog. All right, here we go, other side. Inhaling, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to nose. Notice how, right? I'm lifting this, rounding the upper back, using the core to hold my body up. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, that left leg up and back. Exhale, we come through. Good. Like I'm looking at my feet. They're in their own lanes here, right? I'm gonna just walk this left foot over, and then I'm gonna drop this right heel back at a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna switch sides so you can see me better. I meant to do that earlier. Right? Here I am again. Inhaling those arms up. Waist point, hips pointed at the side of the mat. Into my warrior two. My warrior two feels totally different on this side. I guess because everybody's body's different and they're not that symmetrical, believe it or not. So here we go. All right. Again, my hips are over, or my shoulders are over my hips. Inhale. Straighten that front leg, hands together. Exhale, warrior two. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse warrior. Couple of breaths here. If you like to come back, get into that side body, you can. I'd like to do more of just of a reach. Back into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Back into warrior two. Keeping that breath going. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Right? See how I am here? Using my core. I'm not laying on this hand. Or if you do it this way, I'm not laying down, right? And then I got this nice straight angle from the tips of my fingers to the outside edge of my right foot. Opening up that right shoulder a little bit. Inhale, reverse warrior. Then we cartwheel through into our plank. Shift forward. Come down, chaturanga, upward facing dog, into our downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna go through that again. Only this time it's gonna be
one breath and one movement. We might actually add on something as well. See how we do it. So bringing our feet together. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, we float it down. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, we float it down. We're gonna move to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, bring the arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm gonna sink down into a chair pose, right? So the idea here is you're sinking down, not necessarily back. So whatever down looks like for you is fine. We're gonna breathe here for a few minutes. Keep your hands at heart center here, right? Or arms up by your ears. All right, come into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, come down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Anytime during this, you can just skip the vinyasas, right? And just go straight into down dog. Or you could use the cobra version through the vinyasa. All right, here we go. All right, leg up and back. Inhale, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, we come through into our runner's lunge. Move our feet into our warrior two. In our warrior two. Inhale up. Exhale, we come down. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. We're going to add on a little bit here. We're going to inhale, reverse triangle. And then exhale into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Right here, right? That front knee is slightly bent. Maybe. Inhale, look up at that left hand. Try to open up that left shoulder. All right, we're going to come in to our reverse triangle. And then we're going to cartwheel through to our vinyasa. Again, you could skip it. Go straight into downward facing dog, or come with me, shifting forward, into upward facing dog, into downward facing dog. All right, I'm gonna switch it around so you can see me better. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, we come through into our runner's lunge. Bring our feet over. Coming up into our warrior two. Couple of breaths. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Let's do another one. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, into Trikonasana. Back into reverse triangle. And then we cartwheel down. Again, you can skip this, go straight to downward facing dog, or come with me. I'm gonna do the cobra version now.
Back into downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna go ahead and drop down to our knees here. We're gonna come onto our back, onto our seat. And yes, you guessed it, it's time for core. All right, we'll do a very simple thing here. Boat pose, got a couple options. You can have your hands here, have your hands behind you, or you could come with me and bring your hands up for balance. The key here is you're using your core to keep your knees near your shoulders, up towards your shoulders. You can try to bend, straighten those legs. Ooh! All right, we're gonna inhale. Exhale, come down to half boat. Inhale up. Exhale down into half boat. Inhale up. Exhale down into half boat. All right, and then little scissors, flutter kick. Oh, I'm feeling it. Back into boat pose. And bring your feet down. Give yourself a hug, you deserve it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make our way onto our backs here. So just grab a hold of the hamstrings with control, make your way down. All right, let's do a little windshield wiper action to open up the hips, bring your knees together, your feet out about as wide as the mat. Hands down, we're just gonna move our legs side to side. All right. Go ahead and bring your feet up, prepare for a bridge pose. I like to bring again, everybody's body's different. I like to bring my heels to where my fingertips touch. Feet are about as wide as the hips. Bring the forearms and hands into the mat and just come on up. Maybe roll your shoulders underneath. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. Bridge pose. And slowly, with control, bring those hips down. All right. Bring the feet back up. We are going to move into, let's go ahead and rock and roll a little bit here. So you're going to rock up, roll back, rock up, roll back. If you can get your toes behind you, great. If you can't, that's fine too. And if you can finish with our toes behind us, try not to turn your head from side to side here. If you can't do this position, just come on into happy baby, because we're eventually going to land there. I just like to get into the cervical spine a bit here. All right, from here we'll bring our legs up,
shoulder stand. I like to flex, point my feet here. All right, we bring our knees down, deaf man's pose, and then roll into happy baby. Point here is to maybe push the tailbone out and down. Roll from side to side. And then eventually bring the feet down. Come into figure 4 stretch here. So you want to have your right ankle on top of your left knee. Roll up, thread the needle, grab your shin underneath your left knee. And as you come down, bring your head and shoulders down. Make sure you line up that knee with your shoulder, not your nose. And then the key point here is other key points. Tuck the chin, extend out the top of the head, and then push that tailbone down and out. Oh, and if you do all those things, you feel an amazing stretch in your right hip, right glute. Get a little bit of IT band if you rock back and forth. All right, let's switch sides. Getting close to everybody's favorite Shavasana time. Come on up, right, left ankle on right knee. Come on down. Again, tucking the chin, extending out the top of the head. Keeping that knee lined up with the shoulder, extending tailbone out and down. And we'll bring that foot down. All right. Going to extend our legs out. And then, actually first, put your feet back up, or knees back up, feet down. Let's just go ahead and just bounce the back up and down a little bit. And then, and the legs out. Bouncing the chest up and down. And welcome to Shavasana. It's going to be a short one here. Apologize for not having any music. I haven't sorted that part out yet. Just have to listen to the sound of the waves and the people enjoying the beach.
All right, let's slowly blink our eyes open. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your ankles and wrists around. We have natives about us. And roll over to one side. And we push ourselves up to a seat. All right. Rub our hands together. Your hands to our eyes. Hands to heart center. Thank you all for joining Yoga Traveler today. My name is Jamie, and I hope to see you again. Namaste.